I don't know if you guys know this, I am a professional restorer. So if you guys have like a plastic car, bring them over here to Smell's paint booth and we'll get them worked out perfectly. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Josh.
I'm Ashley.
This is Ohio Off-Road. So hopefully the last day or so we're gonna work on the Jeep before our trip to Moab. So this video is actually gonna jump probably our, what was it, Black Hills videos? So we went to Black Hills, we took the blue Jeep out. Absolutely amazing time. But I'm gonna do this video before I do those other Black Hills videos. So we're gonna be in Moab, what, October 21st to...
We leave the 20th after work.
Yeah. So October 21st through like the 25th of 2023. So it depends when you watch this. But if anybody else is gonna be out there, hit us up. We're gonna be out there, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna take the red Jeep out and do some easy stuff. But
we're sleeping in it.
Yeah, and we're sleeping in it because we're overlanders. But
or we're just cheap.
Yeah, we're very cheap. But we have to see where we're getting clearance problems, because the couple times we took it off-roading, we heard a ton of rubbing. Well, we think it's the rock sliders, because it still has the stock Rubicon rock sliders on it. So we think it's that, and we think it's the fenders. And I also think I can get, you know, maybe 2 more inches of drop out of it. So we're gonna figure that out all right now, and then start getting to work on it so we don't have to hear these terrible rubbing noises.
Insert Chewbacca.
Yeah, all the rubbing noises while we're on the trails. So that's our goal for today.
Let's get it done.
So hold the Jeeps out. We're gonna see how far we can get the red Jeep on there, on that tire, and go from there. And then we'll compare it after all the work's done. Okay, stop. All right, so right there, that tire is off the ground, so we know we are 100% full flexed. Let's see how this looks. So right there you can see we have clearance problems on the fender. It's getting into it pretty hard. And then this rock slider, we have a problem too, so we probably gotta take a couple inches off the rock slider, figure out something to do with the fenders. So we have to do that. Front, obviously the drop side, it looks fine. There's nothing else to do with the drop slide. This front, we are completely stuffed out. You guys see it? And we have, I don't know why the focus is being weird, but we have some really bad fender touching up there. So we gotta take care of all that stuff. And we almost got on top of it. It might be, I don't know, 26 inches or so. And I want to see the back shock. Yeah, so you see that back shock right there? You see all that shaft still there? That's our problem. So we gotta possibly drop the shaft down 2 inches if we can. So we're gonna work on that. And you can see we are fully bumped out. So we're gonna extend the shocks down, give us 2 more inches of lift. All right, so I think we got everything figured out. We have to do something with the fenders, cut the slider, and add shock extensions to the rear at least. So we're working on that, and Ashley's gonna drive it down and get it back in the garage. All right, so we are back in the garage. The funny thing is, when Ashley backed off of them tires, she broke a little piece of the fender. I don't know where it came from. So definitely fenders got to get taken care of.
Apparently I can't drive any Jeep without doing some sort of damage.
All she does is break her junk. All right, let's get to it.
That's so funny there, Josh.
None of these body bolts have the bolts on them. Here, let me show you.
Wait, what? I'm having a problem processing this. What?
So, I'm down here looking at this because we got to take this slider off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, to cut it. And there's supposed to be bolts, or not bolts, but nuts that hold these down. So we got to take care of that, and it's all of them.
Oh gosh.
So what I think happened is when the guy did sliders, he had sliders on these, like different kind of sliders. So I think when he took those off, he just never put those bolts back on. So that's what we got to go to the store and buy bolts now too. But I think to take these off, it's just bolts here and then there's bolts there. So I just got to take all those bolts out.
Shoot. How do we always break bolts, Josh?
Because we live in Ohio.
One is off. Needed a 10 and a 13.
10 and 13.
And one of them you had to use a ratcheting hand wrench because of where it was between that and the frame, right?
Yep. Okay, both of them are out. Ohio doesn't like cars. I'm just gonna mark. I'm just gonna take 2 inches off of it. 2 inches should be plenty. And then if we want to run maybe a 37 later on, we can come back and trim a little bit more off. 2 inches. Alright, that should be 2 inches.
Nice and straight, Josh. Good job.
Look at that. Ha! I did something right for once.
Bandsaw helps.
Bandsaw definitely helps. Then you should be able to just take this insert out and cap it off still.
Probably just that. Pop that.
Yeah, pop this thing off.
Alright. So, we decided not to use the cap.
No, we're still using it.
Oh.
We just can't use the tree thing. The body tool thing. We can still use the cap, we just can't put the body tool in because it doesn't have a hole.
We'd have to drill one, and if we're going to cut it again.
I'm just gonna drill it.
Seems like it's a snug fit anyway. So. Pop went the weasel.
Pop went the weasel.
Little poof.
That's gonna do. Alright, we'll let that dry. Grab the other one. This one. Then put those caps in it.
So pretty.
Lance.
Well, we just found a womp womp womp
Yeah.
to our plans here.
So Ohio got the best of this slider.
Not just Ohio, just rock salt in general.
Ohio. It got the best of this slider, and this is all rotted out.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. On to step B. We're not using these. So we just did all that work on the other one, and we're not going to use these because this is just going to cave in. Luckily, we have sliders over there that we haven't sold yet. They've been listed on Marketplace for a while. So we're going to get those, put those on there, see how they look, and hopefully everything's okay.
Well, at least run them for Moab.
Yeah.
Then after that, we might design our own. I think that was the plan, was to run the Rubicon rock sliders and then build our own, kind of much like the ones that are similar to the ones that are on the blue Jeep. So, but yeah. Hey, guess what? To put those in, we had to go get bolts. So these are what were on them.
Yeah. I'll actually take the wire wheel and stuff them up and paint them. This project just got a lot longer.
Womp
Now
womp.
I gotta clean those up, paint them, but I'm gonna put them on first. But we have to get the bolts. Yeah, that kind of sucks.
So these are a set of Quadratech rock slides. We don't know how they look on this Jeep because when we got the Jeep, they were not on.
Yeah.
They just said, hey, we have these bumpers I took off, or not bumpers, but rock slides that I took off, or we took off. I have no use for them, so you might as well take them. Lucky for us, we took them. Joshy's not happy.
Nope. I don't even like these ones.
Joshy's sad.
I am very sad.
Well,
So I like the Rubicon ones because they're nice and tight to the body. These are gonna stick out like crazy, and they're heavier.
well, we run these just for this trip, and then we design our own. We get to fab something, Josh.
Fabrication.
It's just we don't have time to do it right now. So maybe this winter. Amongst the other 950 projects that are planned for this winter. Now Josh just has to figure out what size nuts we need.
Yeah. So it is a.
Lifesaver.
Yeah. No, it's a M10 by 1.5.
M10 by 1.5.
You gotta take a picture, not a video.
Alright, so Josh got them all cleaned up.
Everything's in the paint booth, ready to get painted. We are professionals here. Yeah, so everything's gonna get oversprayed. And I really don't care how these turn out. I just want to try to make them look good for maybe a year. And then we're gonna build new ones or something. It's just, I just can't deal with all this rust marks. So we took a little wire wheel to them and kind of knocked them down. It needs more, but for rock sliders and for what these are, I'm not too worried about them. So let's get color on them. Is that what the pros say? Look at that, already better. Rebuild in a can.
Rebuild in a can. So, first coat of paint's on by the professional paint artist.
I don't know if you guys know this, I am a professional restorer. So if you guys have like a plastic car, bring them over here to Smell's paint booth and we'll get them worked out perfectly. So, just so you guys know, great deals all day long.
They'll be super cheap.
Yeah.
Just might not look the best.
Only the best. All right, now we gotta go get Ashley's saw to do some fender work. So we gotta go to what?
Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight. While these dry.
And we might as well stop at Tractor to go get those bolts.
Yeah, stop the tractor, get those bolts too.
2 for 1 run.
All right, so I went through. We got 3 coats of paint on the slider, so those are just hanging up. We're gonna let them hang up for probably the rest of the day. And tomorrow I'll get those on. Ashley is over there marking out the fenders. So we're gonna cut the fenders. This is the cheapest way to get the clearance for now. Eventually we'll probably go something a little bit better. But for now, we're just gonna cut them because it's cheap. So right now, Sheila's marking everything out. This is gonna be the 3rd time you've done this.
Yep, my 3rd set.
So she should be a professional by now. The bad thing is, each time we've done it, it's probably been 5 or 6 years in between each one.
Typically, what I do is I kind of ride along that bend. I've seen some people go below. I've seen some people take them in even further. But I think we've always kind of liked it at that bend.
Yep.
And I'm just putting this down, that way I have a guide. Because if I freehand it, it's gonna start doing the wave. So one thing I definitely recommend doing if you're trying to go for that flat fender look and you're cutting up here is to make sure you have your turn signal blinker cable pulled all the way out, because where it sits is right up in through here. It's really kind of hard to see, but if it sits right up in here, and that's exactly where my high tape mark is. So I would end up cutting that. So the way I'm going to go about cutting it is on these outside tape lines, I'm going to follow that outside of that line to keep it as close to that bend as possible, but without keeping the bend. And then on these angles and the flat parts, I'm going to go on the inside border of those tape, just so that we get a little bit more of a cut.
Yep, well, get the cutting.
Get to cutting. All one cut.
Yep, all one cut.
Yeah, good luck with that. All right, I called in Team Muscles here. I think you still have one more pin in there. There we go.
Good. Look at all that room for activities now. How badly is it rusted? It's not bad. You got right here, right there.
We'll probably black poof can that anyway. That's what we did with the blue Jeep. No, we left it blue, huh?
We left it blue. And I'll let's leave this blue too.
Oh, you're gonna leave that blue?
I mean, whatever color it is.
Josh, are you colorblind?
I think so.
So all I have left to do on these back ones are cut these angles, the back one and the front one, and then this back fender will be good to go.
Looks good.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's alright.
That was a very bad cut.
Good.
Much better.
I like it. So that's what they look like. We gotta clip these in because we had to pull them out to get that cut down at the bottom.
Not bad.
Oh well.
So we got this part cut. My little body saw is getting pretty warm right now, so it needs to cool down. And it does not like these big, thick plastic pieces. So we're gonna go ahead and trim these out. These little brackets here. This is just the inner fender well, so that'll come out. And then I'm probably gonna take a good chunk of this one off as I can. That way I can get in here, do this line, and cut across.
Yep. Good.
Not the prettiest, but we'll be able to get in there better.
Yep. Keep chewing away at it.
So one thing that Josh went ahead and did was took out the inner fender liner.
Yep.
Along with the hard plastic rigid piece that we're still going to put back underneath this, because if not, as you could see, there's no support. But we have some trimming that we have to do to this. So this front horn here has to come completely off. Yep. I think honestly we'll probably go to this groove here and just cut it depending on where it sits with the front fender.
Yep.
And then all these little dangly things that we couldn't get, just the muscles, muscle man.
Muscle man. I got to be a
muscle man.
I don't think that's the way that song goes, huh?
Macho man.
Ah, macho man. Macho man, muscle man, same thing. All right, so now you just gotta make those front cuts right there. All right, so we got that one all cut. Looks pretty good. It's all flappy right now because Ashley's over there cutting the support out.
Oh,
So
getting ready to cut it.
yeah, get ready to cut the support out.
So I'm just gonna cut it right along this ridge here.
Yeah.
All the way. That way it gets rid of that horn, gets rid of the excess that I think, then we'll test fit it and see if I have to cut more.
There you go.
So we got everything trimmed up. Now's the test fit to see if we have any more trimming to do.
Great. Play muddy.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I think we're good.
That looks pretty good.
I think we're good at gravy.
Good as gravy?
Yeah, good as gravy.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Gravy's good.
Gravy is good. Oh yeah, it looks way better now.
You don't have all that funky.
Yeah, I don't have all that stuff hanging down.
No. So Josh, with his tools of smartness, is gonna put that back in.
Yep.
And this front fender will be done.
Yeah. And we really don't run inner fenders on stuff. I'm sure people are gonna be upset about it because the internet's always upset about random things. But for us, it just doesn't. I like to be able to see everything and be able to clean everything. Like, if all this is blocked off, like, theoretically you don't get dirt and mud in there, but dirt and mud's still going to get in there. So as long as everything's visual and you can see it all, you can get to it way easier than having the inner fender in there.
And we tried to run inner fenders before. We got the Artec inner fenders and
they were fine, and we
rubbed on them with the 42s though.
Yeah.
Or with the 40s.
I know our buddy runs those. Rob. Everybody might know Rob, maybe not. But Rob runs the Evo inner fender thing right here. But it does make it a little bit better, and then it protects these connections back there. So we might get those, but the rest of it I don't think we really need.
Josh got inspired by Rob.
Yeah, Robicon. This is now Joshicon. Yeah, but I like it way better. Cut fenders. I was really worried about like there's just going to be like this huge gap and make these tires look really low, and it really doesn't look that bad. It looks proportional. So.
Mm-hmm. And once it's loaded up with everything too, it'll squat down a little bit too.
Yeah. All right, well that's it for this side. We won't bore you guys with the other side. We'll just show you guys the final product. We're probably going to get that door surround stuff that they put up for the doors just to edge this stuff up really nice and make it look a little bit better. But
okay, so we got the fenders all cut, clean, caught.
They're caught.
They're caught. Cut and cleaned up. They look pretty good, I must say.
Yeah, they're not terrible.
Even the side with the Sawzall. So, way to go, Joshy.
Yay me.
So, we are moving on to the next project, which is more for the suspension. So,
got to get the flex out of the rock crawler. As always, I don't know why I worry about flex. I did call it a rock crawler. It's an Overlander. I don't know why we need to worry about flex for overlanding, because Broncos and 4Runners exist. You guys are all welcome once again, but we're going to get as much flex as we can out of it. And when we showed you at the beginning, we probably had 2 inches, 2.5 inches of shaft still showing in the shock. So we're going to bring those shocks down with these guys. So
what are those?
These are off of the blue Jeep when we first built it and got it, whatever. When we first got it, it had a rough country 2.5-inch budget boost on it. So all these will do is bring that shock mount down just a little bit so we can get more drop out of it, because the shock's a limiting factor on that suspension right now. So we're going to use these and stick them in there, and it should give us 2 more inches of drop.
So we got the passenger side done.
Yeah.
Josh is currently working on the driver's side.
Yeah.
So where that puck sits is just above where the shock mount goes in.
Yeah, I don't know if people can see it. Let me get some light. Yeah, so it just sits right there and drops it down about 2 inches and gives us 2 more inches of drop.
So in order to do it, we just decided to just jack up one side and do one side at a time.
Yeah.
So, which was a smarter move.
Yep, it worked out.
So all he has to do is just tighten it up and Drop it down.
Yep. All right, so I just got done with those shock extensions. We were gonna go take it outside to see how it does, but I forgot where I hung those up. I have a problem because now I can't open the garage door. But luckily, according to the directions on the paint can, I could touch them and move them and handle them within an hour, and it's probably been 4, maybe a little bit longer. So we're just gonna throw them on. All right, just buzz those things on there. There's the rock sliders. They technically say they're rock sliders on the Quadratech's website, but I just don't know about them. They don't look that great. Let me show you guys. So like they stick out like way, way far, and then they hang down like super, super low. It'd be nice if they're a little bit tighter to the body. So we'll see what happens though when they hit their first rock. They'll probably bend and kink, but I think it's better than not having rock sliders. So they're on. Now let's roll this thing out there and do a quick little flex test, see if we can get on top of a 42 now. We might be able to, it'll be close. Okay. All right, that's it. We're a lot higher than what we were, so everything worked out the way I wanted it to. Look at that back dropping out pretty far, and then there's no rubbing up in that area, so that's pretty good. So everything's working out up front. Everything looks really good up front. Back, everything's tucked. Let's see if we got any clearance problems in the back. No, look at that. Everything. There's like just enough to fit anything in there. You guys see the air gap. And then everything else is good. No problem in the back. So that looks good there. All the room now with them fenders chopped. And then, yeah, that's a huge difference on how far that dropped out. So that's really big. But yeah, everything looks really, really good. That's it all the way up there. Almost on the 42. Probably need a little bit longer shocks. It's just not really where it needs to be, but it all looks good. Let's see how that shock down here looks. Yeah, you can see that shock right there is all bottomed out now. So definitely those shock mounts or shock extension things were 100% needed. And we got them. So it's way better. All right, you can come back down. All right, back in the garage. Everything worked out the way I kind of planned, except for the rock sliders. Pretty dang bummed about the rust hole in the rock sliders. But that was a successful day. We got 2 more inches of travel on the back. So that's huge. And you can see how like it completely bottomed out that shock perfectly. So it is minty, minty good. But that's all. Fenders are cut, so now we don't have to listen to any annoying pops and clicks and stuff when we flex out and turn, and everything else is pretty good. There are, a couple more things we have to do before we leave, and that'll be on the next video. We got to put in a compressor and put in a recovery point on the back. So we don't have a recovery point since we took that bumper off the last video. So a couple more videos on this Jeep, and then it's pretty much going to be all that we ever do to this Jeep. It should be good from there on out until it becomes a rock crawler.
You said it!
All right, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and ring that notification bell and all the other fun YouTube stuff. All right, guys. Adios.
Bye, guys.